Sex, Lies, and House Hunting. It's episode 13 for season 4 of The Conners. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my Conners review for episode number 13 of season 4. It's called Sex, Lies, and House Hunting. We're going to get into that momentarily, but I do want to welcome you to Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. Please consider commenting below there with your thoughts on the latest episode. And, of course, subscribe if you are not one of my subscribers. I'd love to have you aboard there. We're going for 1,000 subscribers by summer. I think that's pretty doable. I just hit 900 last week, so very exciting stuff there. Before I get into this particular episode, I noticed today that the previous episode, episode 12, is not on my YouTube channel any longer. So I'm going to figure out what's going on with that. I didn't get any sort of copyright violation notice about anything. So once I record them, once they're uploaded to YouTube, I delete the reviews off my phone, just to save room on my phone. So I don't even have a copy of that review. So if it is gone from YouTube, it perhaps is gone forever. But if you follow my reviews every single week, I will just briefly sort of recap that one for you, because this episode is a direct correlation with that episode in some regards, mostly Becky dating her teacher, played by Matt Walsh, Professor Davis. So we'll talk about that plot line. But I believe I gave the last episode somewhere in the B range for my grade. So moving on to this current episode, hopefully this will remain up on YouTube. But Sex, Lies, and House Hunting. So three really, Lies is sort of taking over in the A story and the B story of this week. So the A story, well, I guess there are two A's, really. You have Becky dating the professor, and then you have Darlene going house hunting. So those are the two plot lines, and Lies sort of go into both of them. So the sex part really isn't even so much sex as it is dating. Because Becky is dating the professor. As far as I know, they have not gone all the way with that yet. And in fact, I'm still shocked that Becky is dating at all, because she made such a big deal when she got out of AA, or when she got out of her rehab, I should say, that one of the tenements of AA is that you don't really want to date for a good year of your sobriety. She has told other guys this, so I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this relationship in the first place with her and the professor, just because I was unaware that she was ready to date yet. But look, I like this actor, Matt Walsh. I like this guy, so I'm fine with them dating, but they have to sneak around because he is her teacher, and look, it's not like he is dating an 18-year-old student. They are roughly the same age. So I don't have an issue with it from that perspective. I just am shocked that Becky is dating already. But they're sneaking around, and they get caught by, I should say, a couple of the other students in the class. And they tell this lie about Becky getting a flat tire and him giving her a ride. So these girls invite her to a singles mixer at a graveyard, and Jackie ends up showing up there. She is dating Neville, but hey, it's let's goof in the graveyard and get drunk and whatever. So this for me is the weakest part of the whole episode. This scene at the graveyard, it's so like I Love Lucy. There's a head that falls off of one of the statues, and so Becky and Jackie try to put it back on. And it's just very corny. I mean, it's fine, in the classic sitcom sense, but I just always kind of feel like Roseanne and the Conners sort of rise above that classic, farce and comedy of errors and that sort of thing that sitcoms have leaned on for decades. So I didn't love that. And also just the idea, the whole thing, the singles mixer, they're in a graveyard. Who's going to sanction that? No graveyard worth their salt is going to sanction, oh yeah, everybody can come get drunk, on our gravestones So I didn't really care for that whole thing. But that storyline wraps up in the episode with Professor Davis coming over to pick Becky up, and him and Dan have a little discussion, and there's some humor there, and the two decide, hey, let's keep dating. Becky ends up dating one of these other guys that she meets at the graveyard to throw her classmates off the scent, but they discuss it and decide, you know what, look, we can sneak around, but let's not date other people here. We really want to both make this work. And so we left it at that, and assuming we will see more of the Matt Walsh character as the season goes on. So taking it back then to the other A story, Darlene and the house. So she has been wanting to get out of Dan's house, her childhood home, for a while now, and of course that was a big sticking point for Ben, played by J.R. Ferguson, who appears here, and she really wants this house. She and Harris go to it in the beginning of the episode, and she is just all for it, but she learns that being a single woman is one of the worst things you can be in the housing market. I don't know how true this is. I mean, really, the realtor was speaking just for this particular couple, but also kind of in general, it seemed too. Not sure how real that is, but it goes, single woman, single man, a little bit above that, and then, couple above that. And Darlene joked, I guess, 2 men is the ideal situation. And the realtor says, oh yeah, we don't even have them, fill out a loan application. We just hand them the keys. Listen, I'm a single guy, and I got this house, about 12 years ago. So, or well, longer now, 15 or 16 years ago. But who knows, whether that has changed at all, or if that's just for the show. But in any event, she is sort of lamenting over this loan application, and what's the point? I'm never going to get this house. And so Ben reluctantly agrees to pose as the boyfriend so they can try and get this house. Turns out, they go back to the realtor, and this other couple actually put $20,000 higher than the asking price for the house. Can you beat it? Let's make it work. And of course, Darlene cannot. So at the end of the episode, Ben says, look, I will help you out with this. I know you don't need a man, but I'm just, so happy that you're getting the initiative together here to move out on your own and get this house and whatever. But she turns him down. She says, no, I want to do this on my own. I want every room in the house, to be mine, and to know that I did it myself, and X, Y, and Z. Honestly, she's a manager at Wellman Plastics. Her kids are, I wouldn't say fully grown. Obviously, Mark, who was not in this episode, is still in high school, and college, is coming up, and of course, that's sort of a big issue there to pay for it. But, Harris is out of the house. She didn't go to college, so Darlene doesn't have to pay for her anymore, and she's got a pretty decent job. So I would be shocked if she couldn't find some kind of house. But look, the housing market is what it is. I personally was wondering why she didn't decide to go in on a co-loan with Becky, because at the beginning of the episode, Becky was talking about possibly moving in with Darlene in her new place. So, look, I know they fight a lot back and forth, but they're certainly better now than they were as teenagers. I don't know. I don't see much of a problem there. It gives Becky help for taking care of Beverly Rose. It gives Darlene for help with the mortgage. And okay, maybe she's not doing it on her own, but she's doing it with family. She doesn't need, Ben to come rescue her. I don't know. I think that could have been a good solution. Maybe we'll see that as an idea coming in the next few weeks. I don't know. But that was my initial thought when she rejected Ben, is why not talk to Becky? I know that doesn't make it, doing it on her own, but again, and Becky was working with her for a while at Wellman, so sort of all in the family kind of deal. I was happy to see J.R. Ferguson in such a nice, meaty role this episode. I would actually say he is the MVP of the episode. I think he had some good lines, and just in terms of character development and stuff, I thought it was very nice that he kind of put aside his animosity towards Darlene. Look, I think there's a playful banter back and forth between the two of them. I do think they'll end up together again, probably by the end of the season. But I do like their back and forth, and he even jokes about that in this episode. And I like that he's still buddies with Dan. Like, they went out to Denny's in the episode so they could write it off as a business expense because they'll be talking about the hardware store while they're there. So I liked his character in this episode. I like the actor. It's funny, I'm watching old episodes of Evening Shade, the old Burt Reynolds show from the early 90s, which I've never seen before. But I saw a pretty good deal on the DVD set, so I was like, all right. It was shortly after Burt Reynolds died, so I was like, all right, I'll pick it up. I finally started watching it not too long ago, and J.R. Ferguson plays one of Burt Reynolds' kids, and he's probably 15 or something, and it's just sort of adorable to see, little J.R. Ferguson from what we know now, with the beard and the husky voice and just, being all man. So I sort of like that, but I love that this character is sticking around, and they have not taken his name off the opening credits. So he's just in it for the long haul. They're going to get him and Darlene back together eventually. There was some other humor in the episode with some old Halloween candy that Dan was sort of sneaking or eating out of the trash. Some humor there. Dan didn't really have any plot devices this episode, just sort of going in and out of each plot, like him and Jackie usually do. The last time we got an actual Dan episode or Jackie episode, it's been a little while. They sort of just float in and out of the different plots going on, do their jokes and exit the scene. And I'm fine with that, because that is, I think, where they excel. The last really good Dan-centric episode I could think of was probably season 3, I guess, where he was getting up there in years and couldn't work on the roof anymore. And so Ben wanted to help out with that. That was a great episode. But yeah, I don't think we necessarily need too many Dan-centric episodes. Well, I guess the wedding, Dan and Louise's wedding, that was this season. That was, a family-centric episode, but Dan, obviously, the main component of that. We did not see Louise in this episode yet again. I know Katie Seagal, probably when they were filming this, still recovering from her car accident. DJ missing as always, Mary missing as usual, and no Mark either, like I mentioned. So really just the very core family in this one, and I was fine with that. Yeah, but the graveyard thing, I just didn't like. It wasn't that funny to me. It was just obnoxious that they would even have such a thing. I just didn't find it believable at all. So they could have chosen a better locale and still mined some laughs from that. And then the whole head falling off the statue, it was just so I Love Lucy, which they've done a few times in Connor's history, and I never really cared for it. Not that it's bad comedy. I do love the old Lucy show, of course. It's in the name. Who doesn't love it? But that to me just doesn't usually say Connors with the farce and the physical comedy and that sort of thing. So I could take or leave that. But anyway, we'll wrap it there, I guess. This episode for me gets a B. Again, I don't know what happened to episode 12. If you're looking to sort of go through all the reviews, I will find out if that got flagged or something and try and get it back up. But like I said, I don't have another copy of it. So if it's gone, it's gone. But in any event, I think I gave that one a B as well. So, all right, next week we do have another new episode, thankfully. Happy about that. These episodes are so sporadic anymore. It's like we get some good momentum with 3 weeks in a row, and then boom, it's off for 2 weeks or something, or in reruns. Or in this case, they were doing the Jeopardy Championship, which, obviously I love Jeopardy, so no love lost there. But I just am sad that they keep sort of postponing it. So next week is another all-new episode. We love that. So I will be here to review that for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.